Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube family? Elevation Nation family, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Elevation Nation Conversations. I'm your man, God Body Sean. You did. You know what to do when you come in. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. You know, that's how you show respect in my house. Take your shoes off when you come in. So the way you take your shoes off when you come in is hit that like, share, subscribe button for me. You did. What's good? How y'all feeling? Paperwork. As I want to talk about today is paperwork. Show some love and conversate and you know, communicate about paperwork. I know everything. Everything is based and revolves around paperwork. I learned to love paperwork when I got my own company. When I started doing business and wanted to be legit, become an entrepreneur, businessman, things like that. Everything is based on fucking paperwork. You can't do nothing without it. You know, it's how good old America work. But when you know about paperwork and you learn how to use it, man, you can use it to your benefit, and it works well. White folks been doing it for years. You know, those of us black folks that's just kind of, well, I don't even want to say black folks, but those of us that you know grew up not rich or well off, or we didn't have family members that had businesses and things like that. We were never taught about paperwork and things like that. So once I got older, and I learned about paperwork and learned, you know, uh, that you need paperwork to do anything, and to really make money in America. I learned to love it, and then I just started thinking back how everything is revolved around paperwork. You know, it's it's something as as basic as going back to school. Everything was paperwork. When your ass get in trouble and that teacher writes your ass up, that's paperwork. What they doing is they creating a paper trail. So when they want to suspend your ass or get you in trouble or send that note home, they got some paperwork on your ass. So yeah, everything is based on paperwork. It also applies to when you're on a job. These jobs, man. I'm back in the 9 to 5, workforce field, and it's the same thing. Paperwork. When they writing you up and they want to have a paper trail for when they want to get rid of you, and they want to suspend you or they want to have a legal way of firing you, and they not get in trouble for it. They got that paperwork. When you was late, them 5 days in a row, or when you was drunk and didn't call in to work and didn't go to work and you wasn't showing up, no call, no show, and they was writing you up. Yeah, that was paperwork. Yeah, that was paperwork. So yeah, paperwork, man. I learned to love paperwork. From starting your LLC, you gotta do the paperwork to be legit. Start your LLC, so they have a paper trail of your company name. You got, with that paperwork, and you registering with the city, you got to pay them taxes. So that's how they get their little bit of money. Even with the IRS, you got to get an EIN number. Those of you that have had businesses, you got to get an EIN number. That EIN number is so that you can pay taxes. That's so when you're doing contracts and things like that, they got your EIN number. That's like your social security number for your business and your company. So that's that paperwork trail. That's how you be legit. And how you can make your money, and you can be correct. And like I said, I love paperwork. It's I learned about it also too with the banking world. Banking, that's how you get the money. You can't apply for these loans and try to get funding and things like that. These banks, they're gonna ask you for your paperwork. They're gonna want to see your bank statements. They want to see your IRS EIN certification letter. They want to see your LLC paperwork, certification letters, and what they call them. They call them your documents of. It's slipping my mind right now, but it's a certain title for that paperwork. Your articles of registration. That's what it's called. Your articles of registration. Banks want to see that. So when you go to open up a business bank account, you can bank and do business transactions because you have your articles of incorporation. And that basically shows the bank that your LLC is legit, is registered, is legal, and it also shows them that you're registered with the IRS. So you're paying taxes and things like that on any money and all that you're getting coming in. So got to have that paperwork trail. But I know when I had my trucking company and I was doing, damn seat going down. When I was having my trucking company and I was doing business with these banks and lenders and things like that, they would always ask me they wanted to see bank statements. They were always asking for bank statements, and I'd be like, man, why y'all keep asking for bank statements? Y'all can see I got a trucking company. Y'all can see I got a business. Y'all see, transactions and things like that. Nah, that's called stated income. They don't want those stated income. They want to see documentation and paperwork. So what I would do is when I would give them my bank statements, they would ask, like, let's say I want to go get a loan. They would ask for my bank statements for the past maybe 6-7 months, maybe a year. And they want to track your bank account, and they want to see your transactions on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So they want to see how much money you got coming in and out daily. They want to see how much you got total, coming in and out weekly. And they want to add that up at the end of the month to see if you're profitable. So they want to say, yeah, okay, you got a trucking company. You got maybe 3,000-4,000 coming in daily. But at the end of the week, what are your expenses, your expenditures? What are you spending out? What are you paying for fuel? What are you paying for maintenance and breakdown and repairs? What are you paying for insurance? What are you paying for lease agreements? What are you paying for your drivers? So all that bank statement, it shows, it basically, it's like a doctor health checkup. It shows what your business is doing. It shows if it's profitable. It shows if it's losing money, if it's making money, if you're doing anything illegal. Shit, they gonna see that shit. I mean, money laundering or whatever, they gonna see all that shit. But I learned a lot from doing that, and I built some relationships with bankers over the years, and they kind of explained to me how that works with the paperwork, and that also helps with the Dun & Bradstreet. They want to see paperwork, and that shows if your business is profitable, if you got money coming in and out. So that gives you a business credit rating and a credit score. Dealing with that paperwork. Let me see what else about that. Also too, part of that paperwork process, like, is your IRS and your bank statements. They want to see, just like when you go to buy a home, something like that, or it's along the same lines of doing it with a business. But when you're getting things under your business name, they want to see, because your LLC, your business is basically like a person. It's its own self entity. They want to see for the past 2-3 years, what are your tax returns? They want to see if you're stating how much money you're making on that IRS paperwork and you're paying taxes on that money. So if you're saying, yeah, I grossed 200,000-300,000 last year or whatever, they want to see if you're paying taxes on that money. That means you're actually making that amount of money. So they seen it through your IRS paperwork. That gives them a red, give them a green light or a red light, whether to give you that money or not give you that money, see what you're making. It's also based on like your QuickBooks. QuickBooks is another form of paperwork. QuickBooks is a basic accounting tool that I used that synced in with my business bank account. So with my business, I had only certain credit cards and debit cards that I used for business transactions. And it was linked to that business bank account, and that business bank account was linked to that QuickBooks application. So it would keep track of all my expenditures, my driver pay, my fuel, my business trips, meals, entertainment, equipment. It'd keep track of all of that, and it would document it in that QuickBooks app so that you could have a a profit and loss statement, or you can have a balance sheet. And these are things that banks will ask you for because it would break down and show how good or bad your business is doing as far as money, income, things like that. So that's all part of the paperwork. Banks will ask for that, and they want to see you bring that. They don't care what you look like. They don't care what your name is. They don't care what business you got. None of that. If you can show them that paperwork, and you can show them you making money, they're gonna give you that money. They're gonna give you that money if you can show that paperwork. So that's basically what it is. It's all about paperwork. Shit. This ain't funny, because it ain't never funny being in prison or locked up or anything like that. But I've had homeboys or I've had family members and things like that talk about being in prison, and they want to see your paperwork. They want to see your fucking paperwork. They want to see if you snitching, if you telling, if you working with the police, if you if you're a piece of shit, if you messing with kids or things like that. They want to see your paperwork because that paperwork is going to tell them about you. And when they see that paperwork, they're going to make a decision or not. If you can walk the yard or if you can't, or if they're going to be on your ass or whatever, because your paperwork going to show and tell everything. So I've learned to like that paperwork. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat down here. Everybody come on in. Elevation Nation Conversations. Take your shoes off when you come in the house. That means hit that like, share, subscribe button. Just sharing games, showing love. Talking about just a variation of topics. So I like to look at this as me on here just conversating, chopping up game with my people, showing love. That's just my personality because nobody really showed me no game, gave me no game. I had to learn a lot of this shit on my own, by trial and error, reading books, doing research, things like that. So I just always been about just showing love, sharing game. That's I guess it's just part of my character. Whatever you guys, anybody in my family or any of my partners, anybody like that, if they ask me something I know about it, man, I'm showing love. I'm sharing game. Shit, I was even so deep with it that it's just part of me that when I was doing music, I had albums. What they say, nothing but love. You did. So I'm just all about just showing love because that's part of the energy I want to give out, so I get that energy back. So if I'm showing love, I'm giving love, then 9 times out of 10 I'm getting love back. Because it's just the energy you give out is what you get back. And I was thinking about it, and I said, the whole paperwork thing, you can use that, you can use that shit to your advantage. White folks do it all the time with the bankruptcy shit. They file paperwork to say, okay, I'm going to dissolve this company. This company is broke. I'm not making no more money. Here are all my assets and my debts and my liabilities, and they list all that shit on paperwork, and they file that shit with the courts, and that shit gets discharged or written off. They straight now. They ain't got to pay no more creditors. They ain't got to pay nobody back. None of that shit. They wipe that shit clean and they start a new motherfucking business with another LLC and file paperwork, and they do it all over again and kind of protect themselves and shield themselves and build it again with paperwork. I ain't saying that's the route you want to go because there's some repercussions and some things you got to go through with filing bankruptcy, like some things that you can't do for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of years, and things like that. But shit, if it come down to it, I'm filing that paperwork and I'm bankrupt. I ain't got the money to pay y'all. Hey, it's the American way. That's how they do it, man. Shit, and when you learn in business, you learn, hey, laws, man. Laws can hurt you or they can help you. It's just all about how you use them. How you use them and how you use it to your advantage. With the paperwork. I learned about a lot of paperwork too with credit. Just reading books, understanding the credit bureaus, what you can and can't do with credit, how you can rebuild, fix, repair your credit, paperwork, documentation. They got laws and regulations and rules that they get and guidelines that they have to go by. And you can take those laws and rules and regulations and you can move within those laws and regulations and guidelines to set yourself free, or get your credit looking good and kind of fixed up, and removing some things and taking some things off and stuff like that. And I've done it personally. I wish I had my folders right here in front of me, but I can show you documents of a paperwork that I've gotten back from the credit bureau saying, yeah, Sean, we saw that you disputed disputed this inquiry, or this credit card, or this file right here on your record, and you provided the correct paperwork, and it was documented, and we approved it, and now that shit is removed off your credit, and they'll send you paperwork verifying that it's been taken off of your credit. So paperwork is a beautiful thing. Paperwork is a beautiful thing. Matter of fact, just off topic a little bit. In the news, when the guy, the white boy that just shot up the Family Dollar, young boy. I think the white boy is what, 21? When in that Family Dollar, and did that coward move, came in, vested up and all that, going into a Family Dollar where he ain't gonna get no resistance. Most likely ain't nobody up in there got no weapons on, nothing like that to fire back or protect themselves. So he went up to a Family Dollar and shot the Family Dollar up, and killed 3 African Americans. Rest in peace. On some coward shit. But tying that into the paperwork thing, the white boy was legit. 21 years old, AR-15 or whatever it was, because he had paperwork. He went to the gun shop or whatever and applied for a gun license and got one. I'm from Chicago. We used to carry guns illegally, so we didn't really know about really getting no license for real, and being able to carry that shit wherever you want to go and be legal with it. But once I moved to Georgia, man, I found out about that paperwork. I went down there and applied for me a gun license, got me a gun license, got me a weapon. Shit, I used to go to the gun range and things like that, man, and practice, with my firearm and stuff like that. But paperwork, having that paperwork, make you legit. You can carry that weapon with you, So, that's something we got to get on top of, in the Black community, or get more educated with, is being on top of paperwork. Everything, can be handled and done with paperwork. I know there was always this thing that people say is you can't do business with family or family and friends. That's been like this big stigma or taboo thing, in our community or whatever. And I've never felt like that. I never thought like that. I've always just felt and thought like, shit, if we can do business, if we can get an understanding, man, and then, everybody knows what's expected of them and what's required of them, we can definitely do business. But I learned even more so when I had drivers, and I would hire drivers and things like that. I had a contract written up. I had a contract written up stated of who they are, who I am, what the company is, what we require of them, what the expectations of them are, what they can expect from me, as a company or as a employee or whatever. And we would both read that paperwork and sign that. Now, this is legal, legit paperwork that can be upheld in court or anywhere, lawsuits or anything like that. It can be held up because it's a legal document that we both signed, that we both read it, signed it, and it can be enforced. It's legit paperwork. You ain't got to go to no lawyer and have a lawyer write up anything, or go that route. You can write it up between you and that person. If it's doing business with a family member, let's write up a document. Let's get the paperwork together and see what the understanding that we have, what's expected of each other, what we doing, what are the expectations or whatever, and get it on paper. So, we doing business. We still a family at the end of the day, but we doing business. We can separate family from business. When we doing business, if something ain't going correct or ain't going right, we can settle it by looking at the paperwork. You can think you as right as you want to be, or you can be as wrong as you want to be, but what's on that paper is what's going to be held up. And we should be able to do business and still be family and not fall out from being family or friends and anything like that, because we're all adults, we're all intelligent. We reading paperwork, so and we signed it. It was just a quick topic that was on my head. I was just sitting back looking at something on TV, and just thinking about some of my documents that I was going through, and looking at some of my old business and bank statements, and I was just thinking about how paperwork run the nation. You know about that paperwork. You can maneuver. You can do a lot of things. You can make a lot of money. And you got your paperwork correct, and you got your shit in order. So you did paperwork. What you know about that? That's the catchphrase. What you know about that? Paperwork. Yeah, I be getting people asking me, "What's this I'm drinking?" This is spring water, but what I do is I add the chlorophyll drops into it, and what that does, the chlorophyll drops, it helps your red blood cells create oxygen. So when you're working out, things like that, it helps your red blood cells create so they can hold and carry and move around more oxygen, so it gives you better workout stamina, things like that. Little game I'm sharing with you. Chlorophyll drops. It did. But today is Monday, August 28th, 2023. Elevation Nation Conversations. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Just a quick little topic about paperwork. Stay on top of your paperwork. It can help you. It can definitely help you. I was another thing how I figured out or learned what I didn't know about paperwork is when I was in LA, I was doing some music and stuff like that, but I did some records. I recorded some records, and I had paid for these records, myself. So I paid for the music, I paid for the studio time, and I recorded them, and I got them filed away with with ASCAP. ASCAP is another spot that's about that paperwork. ASCAP is a place where they basically track your music, and if it's played anywhere or if it's used anywhere, they'll track it down and charge, who's ever using that or playing that music. They'll charge them for it, and they'll get you your money, and they'll send that shit to you in a check. You'll get checks in the mail because you filed your paperwork with ASCAP saying, I'm the owner, I'm the writer, I'm the publisher of this music, and it belongs to me. And if anybody uses it, they got to pay you for it. So by you having your paperwork together, you're getting mailbox money, basically. You're getting checks in the mail from you're getting paid for money that you're getting paid money for works that you've created and had registered, so nobody else can use that. It's your intellectual property. But I learned about that because when I was in LA, there was I was just passing out CDs and selling CDs and things like that, and I guess a publishing company had got some of my music, and they wanted to buy 3 of the records that was on there. So they got in contact with me, and they said they wanted to buy these 3 records. They didn't really tell me what they was using them for. They just said they wanted to buy the rights to them. So me being young and stupid, just getting in the game, not really understanding it, not understanding paperwork and all that. My manager at the time was like, "Yeah, cool, yeah, sell it. They're gonna give you $2,000 a piece for each song." So I'm young, shit. I'm new to the game. I ain't young. I was just ignorant. I ain't know about the paperwork. And I said, "Yeah, cool." So I sold them the songs. I sold all 3 of them for like 6,000, like 2,000 a piece. They gave me my little check. I had to sign away my rights on those 3 songs or whatever. And then like a month later, I get something in the mail. It's a document. It's showing that, and the name of the publishing company is called Abaco Music. I remember it. I remember it to this day. I even still got the document that they sent me. And what it did was it showed that they took them 3 songs and they sold them to a network, and them damn songs was played on that soap opera. It was called Young and the Restless. And on that document, it showed what day those songs was played. It showed what episode of the show that it was played on, and it showed for how long they played the music in the background or whatever. Man, that publishing company, they made like 20, 30 G's off selling them records um to that network to play on the Young and the Restless. Now, me not knowing, I'm selling it for 6,000. They sold it to them for like 25, 30,000. And then they still would get the residuals and get the money when it's, let's say if it's played tomorrow on that episode, they play a rerun on TV and they play that episode with my music in it. They gonna get paid for it, not me. So they getting paid forever off my music that I created. But if I would have known about paperwork, I would have said, no, I ain't signing over my right shit. Yeah, give me 4,000 and give me some points on the back end. So whenever y'all get it played somewhere, something like that, I still get a check for that, forever or whatever. By having and knowing that paperwork. And I hate to keep saying paperwork over and over and over, but it's just kind of funny, you know what I'm saying? Just chopping up game and showing love with y'all, just conversations, man, just elevation conversations, man, trying to elevate ourselves and continually grow. That's what the movement is about. Ever since I've been doing music or whatever, that's what my whole movement and my whole concept and lifestyle was Elevation Nation. Constantly growing and elevating, learning, building, getting better, trying to, continually grow. I got T-shirts, I got hoodies out, with the elevation lifestyle. It's a motto, it's a way of living, it's a way of life, it's a way of thinking, Elevation Nation. I even had a beard oil company. You know what I'm saying? Putting together paperwork. They had beard oil out there I was selling and marketing and things like that. But Elevation Nation, I've been on this route, man, since like 2000, 2001. That was my whole thing. And all the music I was doing, it was about elevating, motivating, trying to motivate folks. I motivate others that motivate myself. So it's just a whole lifestyle, Elevation Nation. And then tie that in with the conversations. It's just dropping game, having conversations is about elevating. So the podcast, I'm trying to, get it growing. We're gonna keep it building, keep it growing. We're gonna start having guests, whether it be people calling in or chatting with y'all on a live chat, just talking, chopping up game, what you know about that. Sharing, building, man, building with each other, man, sharing ideas and, sharing knowledge, constantly elevating, growing and developing. So, that's what it's about. But let me see what else. What else was I thinking about today? Yeah, that's it. I think we already talked about how these jobs, they get you lined up with paperwork. They'll line your ass up. Like I say, they'll keep that paper trail on you. So whenever you late or whenever you calling off, when they get ready to fire your ass, they got that paperwork and they document everything. When you cussed out that supervisor, when you missed that day and didn't call in, when you was late here, late there. Yeah, so you did. Yeah, that paperwork. When I started my trucking company, I realized there was a lot of paperwork, and you had to do everything in order. Because if you did it out of order, it would mess it up or it'll throw you off. Where you got to file this first before you can file this, and you got to file this within this certain amount of time. You got to have this document showing you got insurance before you go get the truck, or before you can get dispatched on loads. And the brokers, they want to see your DOT paperwork. Make sure you're registered. The FMCSA, they want to make sure you're registered with them. Before you can go out here and book loads and you can run on their roads and things like that. It's all a paper trail. It's all a paper trail. With that paperwork. So, I love paperwork. Learn to love paperwork. Shit, I love it. So as I want to tap in with y'all and talk about, just chop up a little game about paperwork, man. Learn to love that paperwork. It's a headache in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it and just get proficient with it and doing it yourself, you can save a lot of money by doing a lot of the paperwork yourself. Man, nothing like it. Nothing like it. I was even in Georgia. I even had I had a car dealer's license. Easy money, just from having paperwork and having that little $100 license, having your LLC together and just applying for the dealer's license. Now you can go to the auctions and get cars and resell them for a profit and things like that, just from having your paperwork, being able to have a dealer's license. So easy money when you understand and know about getting your paperwork, having your paperwork done, being on top of your shit. So we'll be good. We're gonna sign out. Once again, hit that like, share, subscribe button. God Body Sean, Elevation Nation Conversations. So we're gonna keep tapping in with you. It's gonna get better and better. And I'll see y'all on the next one. We did. Love.